So welcome back again, and in this video we're going to talk about the visual demonstration. So essentially what I've got here, I've got my laptop hooked up, and what I've got is I've got two outputs to one projector each. And what I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to jump into the system preferences here, click on my displays and jump into arrangement. And we can see here I've got three different displays set up, okay? One is a HDMI output, the other one is a VGA output that I'm using through a display port. That's the reason why they're set up in different ratios. The one on the right hand side here is 720p. This one here is completely different. Actually, if I gather the windows, I'll be able to show you, make things a little bit easier. If we get into the scale, so this one is 720p, which is the right hand side as I look. And this other one is 1280 by 1024, which is pretty much the only scale that you can get. However, there is an option. If you press the scale and option, you do get more configurations to actually choose from. I'm going to stick with what's standard for this, and it's not going to make that much of a difference, and I'll show you why. However, I'm going to get rid of these now. So what we've got is we've got two projectors overlapping. I've got one on the left, you can see the red circle around it as I select it, and we've got one on the right, again overlapping, okay? What you'll also notice as well, on the left hand side, it's going off the wall. I want that, we want to overlap it so that we can bring the picture back inside the overlap later on, and that will make sense when I open up Resolume. Again, there's the right hand side, the left hand side, and in the middle we'll have our Resolume, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and open up Resolume. Okay, so here we have Resolume, and as you'll see, it's completely blank template at the moment, brand new, and it's running in demo mode as usual. So what we're going to do is I am going to go to output. We can see we've got three full screen or window displays here, and I'm going to jump into the advanced menu where we can set up our outputs. First up, what we're going to do is we're going to look over here. We're going to see we've only got one screen installed with one slice. Okay, one slice is going to be one particular image or one layer that we can distribute images to. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add in a new screen. These screens, as you can see now, we've got two and we've got a slice in each one. However, each screen is only outputting to a virtual output. No good to us. So what we want to do is we want to come down here and we're going to select display 2, which is 1280 by 1024. We're going to pop that in. We see it goes black. We'll come over to the other one and we will select our other display, which is 1280 by 720. That too will go black. So now what we're going to do is we're going to come back up here to the output, and I'm going to show the test card. There we go, test card. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to jump into our output transformation, because what we notice is that it is too big for the screen that we have. So we can select this, zoom this back in, and because we've got our magnet on, it is snapping. And when I do that, I can see there's slightly pink lines around that one. So that's that slice done. We'll drop over to the other one, do the same thing. Slightly pink lines, that's snapped in. So now on the input selection, what we've got is we've got the same image on both screens, slightly overlapping in the middle. That's not what we want. What we want is we want both of them blending together. But first and foremost, what I can see is I can see the image bleeding off over my wall or my projection surface. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take off the magnet. We're going to jump into our output transformation and select edit points here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this corner. I'm going to drag it down somewhere around here so that I can straighten it up. I'm going to do the same for the other side. I'm going to bring it in and straighten it up. I'm going to leave a bit of a gap at the top and straighten it up with my outside wall. Do the same with the bottom corner. Straighten it up with the outside wall. And this corner, we're going to keep it some kind of straight. And a little bit of adjustment here as well. And we'll keep it relatively straight or plumb with the ceiling. Come over to the other slice. Zoom in a little bit here. And we're going to do the same thing again. Keep it straight with that one. Straighten that one up there. Not losing any of the image. And then drag these corners in. And keep that one relatively straight as well. Top corner again. I'm going to keep it relatively straight. And that's just jumped off. our test card because it's in demo mode. There, that's not looking too bad, okay? So we'll work with that for now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to jump back to our input selection, and on our first slice, I'm going to drag this back to halfway. We'll turn the magnet back on to make sure it's halfway, and there we go. The next slice, I'm going to drag it back this way. And now what we see is we have two halves of the card, and it's slightly overlapping in the middle. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this as an overlap a little bit, and we can see it's starting to shift, and I can see where the R is already starting to line up. So I'm going to leave that there for now, and what we'll do is we'll jump back over to the output transformation tab. What I can do is with edit point selected, I can come down here and I can add subdivisions to my warping. We've got X and Y subdivisions, so I click this button, we can see it's added in one more point for me to manipulate, and another, and another, and the same in the Ys, another, and another, and another. Now we see where we're getting to, okay? So if I zoom in a little bit, I'll move this down so we can see it properly. And if I select this corner, I can now jostle this so that we can see it moving. I now have complete control over each and every corner of the actual image. So if I now take away some of my divisions, actually that's moving them, my apologies. So if I take away some of the divisions and I go back to this, I can move the top half or I can move the bottom half. I'm just going to move that into a rough line, get them to roughly overlap. And already we can see how they are lining up quite nicely already. We go back to the other slice, we can do the same thing. Take out one more. Again, click and drag. We wait for the demo. We can see that sitting nicely on top of that. So now we can add in a couple more. We might move this one a little bit. We can move that back there. And in fairness, if we actually add in some X divisions, it won't be moving the whole way. So now we'll see we'll only be moving this portion, and I can slide that in there, causing it to overlap. I can move just this one, causing that to overlap. I can move this one, and we're quickly getting the idea here. And obviously this is just a demo, so I'm just going to show this to you pretty quickly. And I can move this one in here. Now, obviously I can move into the middle here. I can start to move these and line all of these up. And this, as you can see, can be a painstaking process, but pretty quickly, we've actually gotten pretty close. Wait for the demo to pop away again. So we're not doing too bad here. And that's been pretty quick. So as you can see already, we've got some blending to do, and we've got a few bits that are a little bit off. We can add in some more divisions if you want to get really tight and really finicky about it, which we will do. I'm very detail orientated, so I do like to get this as tight as possible. We don't want any difference in the images. I can move this one again because that one moved that one, and you're going to find this that these are going to move over and back on you all the time. So what I'm going to do is we'll have to swap between slices to get it absolutely exact. So instead of me spending a lot of time doing that right now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly tweak that one. I need another subdivision there. I'll move that one. So what we'll do now is we'll come down here and we'll click soft edge. We'll do the same on both slices. We'll turn on the soft edge. So now what we're going to find is we're going to find this blended even more so. However, as we can see here, we see part of the image has gone slightly blacked out, and that's due to the luminance and to the power. It's now soft edging both sides that we have selected to overblend and underblend both sides. And in a sense, they're talk about this as a black art, and they're not that far off. But already you can see within just a few minutes, we've got a pretty good image. It's about balancing color now. It's about hiding the fade. But all in all, for 5 minutes work, that's pretty neat. Now we've got our visual up there. We can save this. Just going to call it David. So now we have David there as a preset. Okay. We can save and close. We've got that left up there now. So now back on this page, what we're going to do is I'm quickly going to bring in just a file that I'm going to grab here. We'll just lob this in here. Okay. What we'll do is we'll get rid of our test card. We'll play this file and we can see the size of the image here. We're just going to have to scale that up a little bit. What we can quickly see is we've got both sides now and a huge image across the whole screen. So if I go back into the advanced, just to show you, I'm going to turn off one screen. Now we can see we're just half the image. Turn that screen back on. We're back into the demo mode again. How annoying. I can kill the other screen, turn off the other slice. You can see it stopped moving. Resolume is starting to show a little bit of a hissy fit now simply because I'm running ScreenFlow at the same time. But again, that one side is turned off. We no longer see it. We turn it back on. It's back as a full image. And that's exactly how we do this. Okay. So now that's the image blended. We've got one huge screen. Again, we can go back into our advanced. If we like, we can add in another slice. And on this other slice, it's called slice 2, input selection. And we can make slice 2 even smaller of the input. We can add that into a different shape. We can add in different images into the different slices. And as you can see, it's looking a bit weird up there at the moment. We've got an output transformation. You can see that one moving as I move around the input selection for where it's going to be. It's absolutely amazing what we can do with this. Think about the fact that you're going to use multiple slices, you're going to use multiple inputs, and then we go back to the original after I kill that slice, and you can quickly see how this can become a massively amazing tool for visuals, 3D projection, image blending, multiple sources, multiple outputs. It's top class. If you can't see the fun in this, you're on the wrong course. Hope you enjoy. Hit me up for any questions. We'll see you soon.